You're about to enjoy a Cloudcast original. Local stories, local storytellers, local brands.
Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the SheEO Lead-In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of SheEO. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights despite their sometimes rocky paths and found a way to lead in. So this morning we are here with Libby Lefanowicz, owner, founder, and chief ice cream maker at Kula Ice Cream. So how are you today, Libby?
Good. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here chatting with you today. This is going to be cool.
Well, thank you. And thank you for joining us. You know, women have these great stories of how we get to where we are. And a lot of times we have no idea how interesting they are until we share them with someone else. And so I love that you're here today. Vegan ice cream. Tell us a little bit about what your day looks like.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Today or every day?
Every day.
Well, we just recently got our own ice cream making facility. So I do have to spend a lot of time going and making sure that everything's running smoothly, whether it's our marketing and our events. We do a lot of our revenue is actually from events. So farmers markets and festivals and things like that. But then making sure production's on track. We have an ice cream shop. Then right now, my biggest focus is just big picture sales. So, sales to corporate grocery stores, starting to get distributors to take our ice cream into their warehouses and get it to the bigger grocery stores. That's my number one focus right now, while, keeping the rest of the ice cream business up and afloat.
So it's vegan and gluten-free, right?
It is, yeah. So I'm dairy-free and gluten-free. I do eat mostly plant-based. But what I found, growing up in a family of, we cook and, everyone takes turns cooking. Dad makes pies and serves it with tons of ice cream. It's like a secret I learned being in the ice cream business. Dads love ice cream the most. Of all, when the kids are walking past our ice cream booths, it's always the dad who's like, "You guys should get some ice cream." It's so funny, but that's exactly what it was like in my family. So I felt left out of being able to have dessert and sit there with my family while they were eating my dad's homemade pie, and then slowly I learned about these vegan ice cream companies that were coming out. I went to one in Austin, Texas for the first time where my sister lives. And I could not believe that we don't have vegan ice cream here in San Diego, which seems like, it's a very allergy-friendly place, but also very vegan-friendly place. There's vegan options at all the restaurants. Now, there's entire wonderful plant-based ice creams. Plant-based restaurants. And so I knew that there was a need for that niche in San Diego. And so right before the pandemic, I started the business and started getting my food permits to do some market testing. And since then, less than 2 years ago, we've grown into, starting my ice cream empire.
That is so wonderful. So the pie, I love that analogy. It started with the pie and then the ice cream, a la mode, of course. And it's true. A lot of people, and I think a lot of people don't really understand how good plant-based is for you because it reduces a lot of your inflammation and all of that. So when you have all of these outlying sort of or underlying conditions, I think it's important for people to find out about that. And then how your ice cream, they can still enjoy and splurge a little bit and indulge in ice cream, because ice cream is love. Food is love.
I know. And see, it's still ice cream. I'm not trying to there are a lot of healthy, plant-based, pure healthy alternatives out there. And what I'm trying to do is allow people who have these allergies or intolerances or just working to like improve their gut health and feel better. I mean, I know that I've dealt with mental health issues in my family before, and a lot of those types of things can be improved by improving your gut health. But you still want to be able to have a scoop of ice cream. So being able to sit there and have that scoop of ice cream without the gluten, without the dairy, and have it still be chocolate chip cookie dough or lava cake crumbles in it is just really, I don't know, it makes me happy that these people who come into my shop can be excited for the first time again about being able to get all 12 flavors. They don't have the one raspberry sorbet pigeonhole choice.
Right. Boring. No, we love options.
I know.
All right. So what is one word do you think that really captures who you are and describes you?
Oh, it's such a hard one. I feel like there's so many. I feel like I am fiercely independent and trying to, so at first when you're starting a business, I think that's a very valuable thing. But then as you're trying to grow a business, trying to practice, when it's kind of outside of my personality, to learn how to outsource to other people and trust other people has been such a challenge for me and something that I work on daily. So one of the things that I've been able to do is really build a team around me that I trust. And that's very important for me because I want things to be done in this way that I'm so used to. Well, I'm used to it doing it my way, but being able to trust my employees and trust my staff to be able to do it their way, but also have it be great and represent my brand in a great way.
Yeah, that's great. So when you're looking at, what did you do before?
Oh,
what did you do before?
I have a very different than food background. Really happy to be in food now because it's something that I really care about. And the previous jobs I had, I didn't feel as passionate about. I had kind of a science and audio-visual background in high school and college, and I ended up deciding to get my computer science major first. Yeah. Wow. It was because it was science related. It's problem solving. It's math. There's a right answer. There's a wrong answer. You don't have to sit there and write an essay. And you're like, I don't know. This is so subjective. So that's why I went that direction at first. And I worked in computer programming for a couple years. Knew that I wanted to be, it sounds funny, I wanted to be in charge, but I knew that the people who were my bosses, they were really good at their jobs, that they were good at being in IT, but that didn't make them a good boss. And so I could see this happening around me, and that's why I decided to go back to business school, actually at UCSD Rady School of Management here in San Diego, which I'm a huge proponent of advocating for them. They have a focus of innovation and entrepreneurship. So they teach how do you innovate in large companies, but then also how do you start your own company. So coming out of that program, I went into more corporate IT consulting, mostly for public sector, actually. Wow. So I don't know if you ever work with your public sector consultants, but I was one of those. So I would come in my suit, but still, looking like a younger lady and have to really hold my own and prove to them that I knew what I was talking about. I did that for a couple of years, transitioned into my own consulting company, but still was doing the IT strategic consulting for public sector. I just didn't have the passion for it. Like I was like, okay, I'm good at this, so I'll keep doing it. But I knew I wanted something more. And then that trip to Austin with my sister was one of those catalysts where it was like, okay, this is something that I could do that I really care about. I love being able to eat the ice cream, and I want to bring that to other people. So let's try it.
Wow. And a lot of people would probably go, well, it's a little scary. It's such a huge shift from what I'm doing. But, I think one of the things about San Diego, and it seems like you too, we're innovative. We we think outside the box, we see something, and, having that passion for something, I think really can drive you in a way that maybe is completely unexpected, because ice cream from IT is such a huge shift. So how do you balance your work and your life? It's hard, and I think as a woman, it's very challenging for us. And so, how do you do that?
I think that's one of the catalysts too for starting my own company, is because I wanted to be able to. There's been so many work environments I was in where you had to ask permission to go to a doctor's appointment, and just to be able to although it's more work, more stress, sometimes at midnight I'm sitting there like trying to keep my eyes open to finish a spreadsheet for a financial model. At least I feel this freedom where I can combine my life and my work together, and take the time where my boyfriend's at home with or my fiance is at home with our dog all day long, and sometimes if I'm able to come home and take the dog on a walk for him so that he doesn't have to do it, but then come back and work later in the kitchen, that's I have that flexibility, and I think that I try to provide that in my workspace to all my employees as well, to get your work done but also get your life done.
Right. Well, it is important to balance that. If you're putting too much into one and not the other, you're going to be lacking and not very happy. So as a female leader, do you have men that work for you, or how does
right
that work?
now? No, so funny. It's actually we're all female staff. It's just the way that it's worked out. But I mean, definitely had men work for me in the past, and it is more of a struggle for me, I think, because I look younger. And I've just had, I get the comments all the time, oh, you look like you could be in high school. I'm like, well, thanks. That's so sweet of you to say. Is that a compliment? But at the same time, I can sit there and I know I'm like, okay, well, just show them that you really know what you're talking about. And I had a meeting once where after it, the CEO of a tech startup company that we were selling our technology to, he walked out and he was like, wow, you know what? I had low expectations, but you've really impressed me. I'm like, see, you can do it. You got to work a little extra harder though.
See, and that's a shame, because as women, we shouldn't be fighting our age or our gender. And here we are, 2021, and it's still happening.
Oh yeah. All the time.
Yeah, I have this discussion with my daughter a lot, and she's a business student at USD.
Oh, cool.
And entrepreneurship, and she says to me, I look like a kid. I look so young. And I said, yes, and it's a blessing and a curse, because it's a blessing because you'll be very happy that you look younger later in life, but it's a curse because it also is a situation where people are judging you.
Yeah.
And again, back to what we look around today, there's so much judgment, but it still happens against you, gender judgment, unfortunately. And I think breaking those stereotypes is sometimes difficult, but it doesn't seem like it bothers you that much. And it happens to me. It happens to me too.
It sucks that you have to work harder.
For sure.
I don't want to be like, oh, I'm complaining about it. But I'm like, you do. You have to sit there and think a little bit longer about what your presentation is going to be, so that you don't stutter, so that someone won't look at you and go, oh, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, no, I get it completely. That seems like that's kind of a lesson that you've learned in life. You just have to work a little bit harder. I feel the same way. And many times I've had the same thing. And I started in real estate, then owned my own business with my ex, then politics. I mean, a lot of different things where I always felt like I did have to, work a little bit harder. And I was always up for the challenge because I'm a very hard worker, because that was instilled in me by my family when I was younger. But I just find that interesting that everyone still talks about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so your journey, it seems to me you just kind of were in that ice cream shop and it just kind of chose you. And, I think that's actually really fun and interesting. So when you look at how you started this. And, so tell me a little bit about you. So you have a storefront, and then you also have now a manufacturing facility.
Yes. So we actually got to start. Well, I moved forward with getting my food permits so that I could start at the farmers market, so that I could do market research. And that was as far as I had thought of the company. Like, let's do some market research and let's see if this is an idea that's worth getting funding for. Mm-hmm. And then the pandemic hit. And I had a food permit, and I had a kitchen that I rented. It's actually Maya's Cookies, so another awesome female entrepreneur in San Diego. But I rented her kitchen at nights. So I was like, okay. All my public sector stuff, paused because everyone was really scared, didn't know what was going to happen next. So they didn't want to spend any money on consulting. And I started making ice cream at night and got a website up and running and put some Instagram ads out there and delivered ice cream. So I would get in my car during the day and deliver the ice cream. With that same concept, I was like, I'm just doing market testing. Right. But it worked. And I was selling thousands of dollars worth of ice cream a week and driving it all around San Diego by myself. So with that, I actually was able to raise some funding to get someone to help me in the kitchen and to get a real ice cream maker and start moving forward with all of that.
That's fun. So you were a one-woman show for a while.
Yeah. For almost like the whole first 3 months of the pandemic.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. And then now you've got how many people working for you?
Oh, yes. So I have we have a marketing and events staff. I have a storefront manager, and then I have a kitchen manager. So overall, what we're doing is we have grown our events business, and like I said, that's actually my biggest chunk of revenue right now is farmers markets and events. So we have a number of girls who also are part-time who are working at the events for me. Then we have our kitchen facility where we make all the ice cream for the events, and then now we're also making our wholesale ice cream there, starting to sell at larger and larger grocery stores. Just got into Seaside Market in Cardiff.
Nice.
So it's actually one of the largest grocery stores that we've gotten into, and working on closing a couple deals with some natural food stores that are chains in Irvine and Irvine, Riverside, and LA areas, and that would be the next step to get that ice cream a little bit further. And then in August we opened San Diego's first all vegan and all gluten-free ice cream shop.
That's so great. And so how many different companies are in that market? Because I don't think I've ever heard of gluten-free ice cream. I've heard of definitely vegan ice cream, but it's pretty rare. I mean, it's
Seaside Market?
Well, just all,
in grocery stores?
Yeah.
It's incredibly saturated market.
Is it really?
So interesting. I did not see it coming right when I first was getting into it. But just in general, the consumer packaged good market, like the number of new products that come to market every year compared to the percent of them that are successful. I mean, it's crazy. You have to claw to make this business work. It's super capital intensive. You got to be able to give a lot of free product out. And so it's also relevant in the ice cream market and now in the vegan ice cream market. Where I have my differentiations is in being the both vegan and gluten-free. Although there are companies that are that, they don't have cake chunks. They're gluten-free because it just happened to be that flavor. It doesn't have gluten in it. And then the other thing is that my ice cream tastes like real ice cream. I'm not trying to be a health food ice cream. I'm trying to be a dessert, a treat that you can enjoy. And so this year we won San Diego Magazine's Best Ice Cream overall, reader's pick for 2021. And it just was such a great validation of being for the first time. Like someone said, yes, your ice cream really does taste like real ice cream. The San Diego Magazine reader's pick chose it overall, not just in the vegan category.
Right.
So that's been really, really rewarding.
So do you have mentors that brought you here, or you just kind of took a little bit? I for one, just kind of looked at a lot of different people throughout my life and said, oh, I like that about that person and that person. Do you have any specific mentors, or was it just pretty organic?
I think it's actually my mom and my dad. They are incredibly inspiring humans who just made great life and business decisions. They're, always. They were both CPAs and, raised kids who before, the first computers we had were just the black and white ones with the little squares on it. And they would make me make spreadsheets for stuff.
Wow.
And I was like, we would make little games on the I forget what it was called pre-Excel before it was called Excel, but we would make little games using it, and we'd have to make spreadsheets to add things up and use formulas. But that, as well as their success in business and in life. And my dad has now grown his, from being a partner in a public accounting firm to having his own angel investing business that he actually runs now, and he works with small businesses. Just inspiring, and I want to make them proud, I guess, if that's a mentorship, that they're them just grooming me into the person I am now.
Well, and then it started with the pie, the food and the love of food and the congregation around the food in the kitchen. I think that's cool. So what are some life lessons that you would share with young women that you think might be helpful in their life too?
Oh, wow. First off, just something that's been always hard for me, but I think is so important, is just don't care what other people think. It's so hard, though. I mean, it's a constant struggle, but all you can be is that best of you, that best version of you each day. And sometimes that best version of you is tired or hungry. But all you can be is that best version of you. And if you did the best you think you could do that day, don't care about what other people think or their opinion of what you wore or what you looked like.
Well, and the truth, at the end of the day, a lot of people are very judgmental.
Yeah.
I mean, they just are. And you know what? But a lot of people aren't. There are a lot that are, but I think there are far more people that aren't judgmental, that are really encouraging. I always think, how can I encourage someone else that I see that's just really trying so hard and really getting somewhere, and, they come into your path and you're like, wow, they're so cool. And I love that about women. There's always going to be someone that you see as more beautiful, more successful, more this, more that. But we need to be a champion, I think, of one another. And I think that is really important, don't you?
Oh, my goodness. It's so important. I feel like something that person who you think is more beautiful or more whatever, and they say something to you, and your immediate reaction is to take it negatively. But I think it's really important. And one of the books that I have always felt inspired by is The 4 Agreements. I don't know if you've ever read that book. Yeah. But don't take anything personally, because you don't know what that other person's day is like. You don't know what they're feeling that day, or maybe the way that they said something has literally nothing to do with you. And so just knowing that person isn't trying to affect you negatively in any way. And so thinking of every moment as not taking things personally and being like, hey, maybe they're actually trying to inspire you too, and they said it in a way that you don't understand. So being open.
Oh, yeah, that's great. So when you you walk into a room of young women that want to become leaders, what would you tell them as far as, I think, being passionate about something is really important. But what else would you tell them that might be something that could encourage them or help them think beyond what they might see for themselves as far as a career?
Oh, gosh. I think, find something you care about. Don't feel like you have to compromise. It's okay. Maybe you will have to work a little harder to do that one thing that you care about, but Find something that you care about. And if that thing that you care about isn't your work, but that thing you care about is, earning the money to get you the freedom to go on those beach surf trips, if that's the thing you care about, work towards it, because you can get there, and you can find a way to get to those dreams that you're looking to get to.
That's great. So you've got your facility now, you've got your storefront, you're at the farmers markets and doing events. What is next for you, Libby?
I want to grow a ice cream empire. I mean, I say that jokingly, but it's, in a way where I'm trying to manifest it, where it's hard, it's a crowded market, but I want Kula ice cream to be available at every Whole Foods, at every Sprouts, at every natural and vitamin store, first in Southern California, but then grow and be a household brand. It's the Ben & Jerry's of vegan, gluten-free version. And I think that's really what I want Kula ice cream to become. And once I get there, I think I have all these other ideas. I have a lot of issues with drinking alcohol, and it's another thing in my life that always gives me that same kind of FOMO that eating ice cream was. Can't really have a glass of wine at a happy hour, and then I'm sitting there holding my water, and I feel like maybe people are thinking less of me. And there's this amazing emerging alcohol alternatives and alternative beverages market. And so I think that once we, everything I've learned so far with Kula too, just growing this business, this alternative ice cream business, I hope can apply to maybe creating additional alternative lifestyle things, or maybe Kula becomes that brand.
So the possibilities are endless, pretty much. It sounds like you just keep thinking all these things. Well, and, I think, too, explaining to people what alternative food can actually do, things that actually come from the ground, things that are not, have all these preservatives and these things that are not good for our bodies. I mean, corn syrup is not sugar. It's something that our body can't actually process.
Yep.
So it creates all this, these other issues. And, as we, I think, during the pandemic, we really found healthy. The healthier you are, the better you can deal with, illness and disease and all of that. And, we know that with cancer too. So, just how I honestly see there's a lot of benefit with going vegan and plant-based, but maybe, that is something that you talk about more, because I think it could be fun. It could be fun. And, coming up with all these different alternatives, because I feel like your mind is just always, as I'm watching you, I'm thinking your mind is thinking a lot of things. And I think it's fun that you are having fun with this too, because clearly you love what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I do really love it. And, even when you have those hard days, you're like, well, you know what? I worked at the ice cream shop the other day because we had someone called in sick, and I have this family that comes in, and they drive from Riverside because they're celiac. So wow. I see them once a month or so, and they have a cute little dog too. And so they come in. I'm like, oh, hey guys, and they come in their minivan, and they're just so excited that they can have all of the flavors, and that the kids can have a gluten-free vegan waffle cone, and there's no honey, you can't have that one, remember? And so just getting that inspiration from that, whether it's in ice cream or in other alternative food and beverage brands, going towards the healthier and going towards the allergy-friendly options.
That's awesome. So what does your label look like? I haven't seen it.
Oh, that's
what
so
is
funny.
it?
So it's actually we're right in the middle of rethinking it, because we use compostable and recyclable cups, which I would love to stay with. But unfortunately, some of the federal manufacturing rules, including needing, the heat seal that you see on the top of ice cream sometimes, we might have to transition away from it. But we do have this very simple craft brown packaging, but with then a very bright sticker with the bright Kula logo, going with with our blues and our pinks, and then just staying very on brand. But then something that I have found is really important and I love having on our packaging is we have a triple scoop of whatever flavor on a sugar cone or a waffle cone, bright and center, right in the middle of it. So you can see what's inside the packaging.
Oh, I love that. That's pretty unique.
It is you know what? When you look at the ice cream aisle, there's a lot of bright packaging that they're trying to pull you towards, but it is always surprising to me how few of them have a picture of what the ice cream looks like on it. But one of the ones which I guess they're kind of a model that I look to is the Ben & Jerry's, where they have, you see the chocolate swirl and you see the big chunk of brownie on the ice cream package, and that's what makes you want to grab it. So going with that same concept, but not being too busy, and then hopefully staying as sustainable as we can within all the laws that we have to adhere to.
Well, and that's important, especially now more than ever. We definitely want to leave a beautiful world when we're done here. So, well, thank you so much for joining us today. And I really appreciate your sharing your story. And I think it's very inspiring and such a shift from what you used to do. And I want women to feel courageous. That
you
they
can do
such
it. It's okay to switch. You don't have to be scared.
Yeah, that's very awesome. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to have you today.
Yay. Thanks for chatting with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learned how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with SheEO host, Rebecca Jones.
You have been listening to a Cloudcast original. Local stories, local storytellers, local brands. Find more stories at cloudcast.us.